Hey everybody, I'm here. I'm Colton, Sidex, PCs, and we got Thin here with us as well.
What's up, everybody? I'm actually on stage. I can't really believe this. Thank you very much again, Colton, for inviting me here, and thank you very much to Intel Gaming for making this happen.
Yeah, thank you, Intel. Obviously, our segment is we're gonna talk a little bit about gaming. I mean, I got one of our best streamers here with us. Not to mention skilled, not just entertaining, but like actually amazing. So
Too kind. Thank you.
Yeah. And what else are we gonna? We're gonna go through some, some of our thoughts about PC gaming, where we're going, like hardware. Obviously, like we've gone through some really strange stuff here recently.
Absolutely.
And here we go, 2022, wrapping this thing up, and
well, I'm very excited though for the next few months, especially for the holiday coming. This I guess we're almost rounding the corner.
I know we're almost there.
And man, I've seen some amazing things here at PAX, especially from Intel.
Yeah.
And I mean, we even have all these PCs all around us right now. I mean, you guys have some showcase PCs here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as far as what's really interesting is just how prevalent PC gaming is coming, just how interested more and more people are with gaming in general. I mean, we've had so many blockbuster games come out in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think now more than ever, I've been seeing a much younger demographic hang out here, and
yeah,
everyone's looking into custom keyboards, custom peripherals, all these custom things, and custom PCs, and they're also looking to what sort of parts can they put in there, and then for a lot of people, how can they maximize that or min-max that, especially with historically PC prices being a little bit too high for the average consumer.
It's been weird for the last couple of years, and it's kind of exciting to see things getting very competitive, stuff being back and available again. And then obviously back to focusing on, getting the best hardware, talking about what's coming up and stuff like that. And, I mean, it's pretty loud here. There's people
people are just screaming
over there somewhere. I mean, this is the last day. Usually the last day of PAX is where everybody's really calm and, not right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, as you're saying about custom, obviously we're starting to see people want to have their own branded stuff. As manufacturing has kind of changed, if we go back 5, 10, even 15 years ago, you basically got whatever was on the shelf and that was it. There was no oh, I want to have this custom something or other, or I want a printed mouse mat with sublimation printing.
No, you didn't get any of that previously.
So it's it's one of those things where you're you're talking about this is becoming your own thing.
Yes.
RGB LEDs, your color or none.
It's not just color now, but it's also patterns. You can have your own patterns. You can have your own animations, even the one that you guys built for me. Being able to have your own logo, your own branding, your own backplates, and then also being able to offer that to everybody else as well. Having that customization, I think, is super key.
Yeah, I agree. Because I don't know about you, but so many games nowadays. When you're in the game, playing the game, it's all about custom skins, things that you can do. And now that's being translated into the real world now.
Yeah.
And I think it's giving people some more identity in how they represent themselves, both online, but then also their setup. How do you want it? How do you want it set up? What do you want to do with it? How do you want to use it? I mean, there's foot pedals. I mean, I had foot pedals because they were kind of fun to change things back in the day. I thought I was really the edgelord over there with my foot pedals, click, 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 click. And now they're a thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what's really awesome about PC gaming is how much customization, how much stuff you can do, what are some of the things that make it interesting for you?
Well,
your setup.
For me and my setup, all the PC stuff for me is really, really interesting because we can customize it. But I don't only game, I also create a whole bunch of content, and so being able to take that creativeness and then also put it on a broadcast level was it was a challenge at first for me, just because I didn't consider myself that creative. I had to, figure out how to make overlays.
He really
is
creative.
Figure out how to set up, multicast streaming. Figure out how to, make sure that we incorporate some sort of elements that are entertaining as well as competitive. And, being able to do that with all the tools that we have in today's day and age. At first, it was incredibly expensive. Previously, and I think this is currently the norm still. You still see people rocking, 2 PC setups. They have all these gadgets, all these knobs, all these different, microphone sets, and they're really trying to make, themselves into like a whole broadcast studio. But because of that, there's a lot of inflexibility. And what we've seen over time is that a lot of these complex technologies are being scaled down.
Yeah.
And what we're able to see now is a whole bunch of these really, really awesome, super powerful parts get, crammed even to the size of like, we've seen gaming laptops that are doing very well as well.
Like, look at your cell phone.
I know, our phones are crazy.
I mean, if you think about it, and now we're seeing that in like a lot of processes that you needed additional hardware for, being consolidated by modern tech to make it, even better, So, it's like one of those things where you're like, hey, how do we make things like more interesting? How do we, like make it so that way you have your gear, but you don't need like 6,000 things sitting around your desk.
Absolutely.
It's like Stream Decks.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are amazing.
Yeah.
Now. Like you get all this other software and all this other stuff, and now you're like, oh yeah, push a button, it does everything.
Yeah. And I mean, we're seeing now stuff, the new stuff that is coming out that is just going to be so powerful that the amount of multi-process, you can game, you can stream, you can edit, you can do all 3 at once even if you really wanted to with all the new stuff coming out. And now we're seeing creativity just being put into something. Yeah.
It's a new process that we've been putting on,
right
on
there.
the cases right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the camera guy can like zoom a little bit onto that.
Yeah.
But like, we laser etch into paint jobs, to make it so that way you can choose patterns. We have Damascus steel. We have all sorts of other cool patterns that are coming out.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's fun, and it's not super expensive.
No, not at all. I mean, so you have the customization, and then you have the power in which, like, you can build something in like a single case now that can run what used to take multiple different teams, if you will.
Yep.
And so me as a creator, I'm very, very excited, being able to create and then also being able to edit and also being able to game at the highest level. So yeah.
I mean,
cool.
It's well, I guess we'll talk a little bit about like, the next like 3 or 4 months. We have a lot of new games coming out because it's been
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Kind of barren here recently.
Oh man,
though.
Yeah, it's been tough for
yeah. I mean, as gamers, obviously everybody kind of coming out of the whole like, last couple of years, we haven't had Elden Ring was incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
I've
enjoyed watching it. Yeah.
I know I've played entirely too much of it. I love pain games, Dead Cells, all those kind of things. Like, man, I go to bed angry. It's my favorite.
I try not to.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fun. Like, I mean, if you think about like everybody games differently, the things they're going after. I mean, you, Mr. Competitive Gamer over here.
Well, I used to be incredibly competitive because I thought that, that was the way forward, if you will.
Yeah.
You had to be the best, or you were nobody. But I've learned over the past few years of doing this now that you don't have to be that crazy competitive. You can hopefully add a little bit more fun, and then hopefully you're also able to show people what you can do, and kind of show them like, hey, this is how you take your gameplay to the next level. That is what I found to be the most wholesome and the most rewarding, personally for me, and also for other people, just to see them progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's like. I mean, originally, like, whenever I was streaming and playing League of Legends and such like that, competitively and such like that, like, the prizes were like $5,000, $10,000, so I was like, woo. And now they're obviously so much different. But, there's gaming obviously can be for fun, it can be for competitive sake, and now it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, people just watching people stream is like a whole thing now that if we rewind even 10 years ago, I mean, like, it was hardly anything. It's
gone beyond that, too. Like, I wouldn't have been here if it weren't for gaming. I wouldn't have met a whole bunch of friends all around the world if it weren't for gaming.
Yeah.
I've gone to gaming, this year alone. This is not my first gaming convention this year. a lot of my travel has been because of gaming.
Yeah.
And that is super exciting to see. And it's only getting bigger from there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a career path for obviously yourself and a lot of other people. And you think about like, we have so many new opportunities to not just play games, but interact with your friends.
Yeah.
Broadcast to people who can't necessarily play with you. You only have like so many that you can like actually do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess speaking of which, we are giving away here at Intel one of our PCs as well.
If any of you have ever wanted a free gaming PC that is hand-built in USA with a lifetime warranty, courtesy of Zydax, make sure you guys enter into that giveaway. I know you guys have all the details.
Yeah, you go on to Zydax.com. It's right there. It's also on all of our social medias. And you can enter it to win. It's a really nice machine.
Featuring Intel.
Featuring Intel.
Yes.
I think it has a 12900K.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there we go. I'm getting some thumbs up.
There we go.
So,
yeah.
it's a really awesome system. Free PC. Nothing says awesome like free PC around
Absolutely.
here. Let me tell you. I think half of our marketing inbox is free PC.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, like, nobody is sad for free.
No, never.
Nobody is sad for
Absolutely
free.
not. And I do have a chat here. I'm just now realizing this. Over time, if you guys have any sort of oh, here we go. Look at this.
Yeah.
There you go. Here, I'll let you hold that.
I'll be Vanna White.
Over time, if any of you have questions, either in the audience here live or if you guys are in the chat, please feel free to ask them, and then we'll be able to kind of pick and choose, and then we'll be able to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Shameless plug over with.
Oh, and by the way, there is a secret code there, but you have to be here for that secret.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know. Sorry, but
any of you afterwards, go ahead and come up.
Yeah,
and
anybody
get
that's
that code
out
for you
there
guys.
that's listening to us, that's at the show, you're welcome to come find one of us. We're going to be wandering around here for quite a while, but yeah, you guys can check that out here. I'll even like set it out there. All right, shameless plug over with.
There
you go. Moving on. Hey, at least a free PC.
Hey,
I'm not trying to like peddle.
It's not just any PC though. That's a nice PC,
one.
dude.
So, and obviously you can watch Thin at any point. He streams like every single day nearly.
Yep.
At odd hours of the night, 1 in the morning.
Well, so
10 o'clock.
that's another thing. Like I've learned now that I have to try to keep a schedule. I know with PAX it's been really tough. I've tried to squeeze in a couple hours. Towards the end of the the end of the day here, just because our days here are just super full. But having a schedule has been super important. Just being able to take something that was once a hobby and then turn it into something that's even bigger than that has definitely been a challenge.
Yeah.
Getting an agent, I never knew that would be something that a gamer would have to do or a streamer would have to do.
Also an agent that like you vibe with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's such an integral part. They manage a lot of your day to day.
Absolutely.
Your relationships. Like, what was it like did you have to go through a few? Like, how did you get there?
There's unfortunately, because the industry is growing at such a rapid pace, there's a lot of people out there that you need to be careful. You need to make sure that it's a good fit.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. And but not just beyond that, but also previous to that, also being able to build a team.
Yeah.
I can game as much as I want, but if I'm not creating content or videos that people are going to engage with or share, then it's pretty much all for naught. And so being able to have a very solid team that's behind you and knows all the current editing practices, being able to upload all that stuff on every single channel out there for the greatest amount of reach has been super, super awesome. So. But yeah, like that, learning throughout all those processes, that's been really key. But I know that's a little bit more towards the content creation side, but gaming has branched out so far so where it's not just gaming, it's not just esports. It's now esports and more. It's entertainment.
It's a lifestyle in a lot of ways,
it most definitely is a lifestyle.
That's what you're into.
Everyone here definitely has some type of gamer look going on right now.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
You think about it, like a lot of your hobbies. Like a lot of times when we look at gaming, we think about I like to say entertainment dollar value, and like how much gaming is really actually a very, very inexpensive way of entertaining. Think about it. You try to go to the movies nowadays, it's like $15 for the ticket in some places or more, and that's like a good time.
Yeah.
And then you want to buy anything to eat, and you're $25, $30, $35 in for one person.
Yep.
You go to a sporting event, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
You do any of those things, and obviously the initial investment. It's nothing to scoff at. You're spending $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or sky's the limit if you really want to go crazy.
Yeah.
But then you look at I'm playing Cult of the Lamb right now. Yep. I spent $25. I spent $30.
You got to try them all though.
Yeah, the developer is awesome, and it's just fun, and there's nothing competitive about it. It's just fun, but I played 70 hours or 60 hours of that game. I'm thinking what can I do? And I guess that's what's really cool about gaming is that you're not having to like be like, oh, I have to spend all this money. You can get into it for fairly inexpensive, and the amount of
Or
time,
even in many cases now, most of the common games that everyone plays now is free.
yeah, that's true.
And it's not just free. It's not like it's a crappy product either. It's something that millions upon millions, like, that's how people are making friends. That's how people in school right now are gaining popularity.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild.
And I mean, I play like the whole gamut. I'm like, we're going to play some first-person shooters. I'm going to play Genshin Impact. I'm going to play World of Warcraft. I know I'm that guy.
I'm personally really excited for the new Call of Duty coming out in 2 weeks.
I know
I'm a COD guy, but beyond that, there's been a lot of stuff. I mean, we had Halo surprise us earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably.
I enjoyed that game. The grapple hook. Honestly, that was the best thing about that game, was just grapple hooking places.
So happy it came out, and so sad that they haven't. I wish that there's more to it, and they keep saying that they're going to do something. So I hope that comes very soon. Hopefully this holiday season.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, there's so many, even previous games that are still getting content. There's still stuff coming out. There's still things of interest that, even older games that I've just revitalized and brought back up again. And I mean, that's the other thing about PC gaming. A lot of people say, oh, well, consoles are so much cheaper. But, consoles, even at the end of the day, we're talking, thousands of games where PCs, I mean, literally have every game that pretty much ever came out.
Yeah.
It's still available.
Yeah.
I mean, you still can play something. If there's something you're interested in, it's still there.
And they get remastered too.
Yeah, and then they remaster tons of games. I played Kingdoms of Amalur. That's kind of like one of those games that nobody knew about for a while, and they remastered it. And I was like, I mean, obviously it's old now, but it was still fun to go back and reminisce on some of those games that are kind of like Divinity style games, and there's some of those that a lot of people didn't know about. I tend to always try to go back and start the series fresh. My wife and I were like, we're going to play Gears of War, and she's like, I've never played it before. And so we played every single Gears of War during COVID.
God. That's insane.
And it was fun though. But it was magical. I mean, obviously we had to do some hook up the Xbox and try to get in there. But, gaming also isn't mutually exclusive. You can have consoles. You can have a PC. I mean, I have a Switch. I try to do all those kind of things.
You gotta try. Yeah, I think that's the really awesome thing is there is always going to be something for anybody out there.
Yeah.
In gaming, it doesn't matter if you want something like myself, which is I want explosions. I'm a guy. I really enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you want something a little bit more slower paced, I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff come out with even handheld games that you can bring with you everywhere.
Yeah, I play Magic the Gathering Arena.
Right.
I run a gaming computer company, and I really love cardboard cocaine.
Right.
But I can take it on my phone, and then I can pull it up on my desktop.
Yeah.
It's way easier to work with the decks on your actual desktop, because you can move everything. But it's so cool because of that integrated experience. I can have my command center, which is my PC at home. I can work on it, and I can put it to my mobile device, and then boop, out I go.
Absolutely.
So I can always stay up to it. Same thing with Genshin Impact and things like that, if people are into that. And that really kind of gives you some really cool stuff, to make your life and your mobility, and you don't have to be like, oh, I don't have my save screen or whatever, somewhere else. So makes it really interesting for us.
I'm getting a lot more questions because
what are some of these questions?
So one more time for the PC giveaway, all you guys got to do, go to Zydax.com and make sure you guys enter into the Intel PC giveaway.
Yeah, it's Zydax.com/Intel giveaway.
Okay, Zydax.com/Intel giveaway. Guys, would love for one of you to win it. And if you're here,
we will ship it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very clear. You don't have to be here.
No, you don't.
The only secret code is.
Yeah, the secret. If you guys are here in person after this talk, we're going to be giving out the secret code so you guys can get a few more extra entries.
Yeah, and it'll be for the people here. We got to people made the extra effort to be.
That's right.
But anybody can win. It just gives you some extra entries so everybody knows.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're every event nearly. So we'll be at TwitchCon. We're going to be at, obviously the next PAX is next year. We go to CES. We go to tons of different shows.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Both consumer. I think I'm at 80,000 miles traveled and just.
That's all?
Yeah, that's all. I think the planet's only 22,000 miles around, but here we are.
Oh my goodness.
And that's all done in the U.S. I haven't even left the States this year.
Right.
But I've managed to go everywhere, see people, visit clients, go do all the things that we got to do, go to all the great gaming events. Come visit you.
Appreciate it.
But a lot of things that we're seeing now is that gaming hardware has been kind of, like you go look at the Steam results and like the #1 graphics card is still like a 1060 or like a Kepler Fermi GPU.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like crazy because, you know, PCs have such longevity, right? Until there's a game that comes out. And to us, like, games drive new computer stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Like we're starting to see people.
I remember when I got into the whole streaming thing, for me it was PUBG, and there was the only way to play PUBG was to build a capable gaming PC. There was no, you couldn't like go super budget with it. You really, like, if you wanted to have a good time with it, because the map was so big. There were 100 people, you know, so there were all these different things about it that warranted having a PC, and that's what I had to do. And I think that, like, for me, that was a very special experience, and, you know, and then from there, you know, seeing all the other new PC games come out and being able to have a system that's prepared for it. But now what we're seeing is that all the new parts, they're so good that they're good for not just 1, not just 2, but like 3, 4, and 5+ years.
Yep.
And as you said, like, you know, Steam charts, having people play on not ancient, but, you know, relatively not so new, you know, CPUs.
Almost console cycle, that 5 to 7 years, you know, PCs have been doing that. And I guess
and they've been crushing it too.
Yeah, and now that what do we bring it to is that we're finally getting to that apex now where I think we're going to see another big shift again. Because, like, right now we're seeing UE5 games that are next year that I'm super stoked for. These new engines that are going to be way more powerful. And so we're going to see, like, this advent of new tech start to push. We're going to start seeing, like, I mean, like, right now, basically, you go look at, like, the average, like, monitor sales, you know, get technical here. Like, we see a lot of 1080p and then, like, higher-end 1440p.
Still a lot of 1080.
A lot of it. And, like, although 1080p is fine, once again, it's your gateway into the world, so I like a really nice monitor. But at the same time, like, we're seeing it shift to 1440, and as we start to see the new stuff come out, I think 4K is going to finally start to be more relevant.
I am so excited for 4K.
As new GPUs, as, like, people start to develop for, like, specifically higher resolution stuff. You know, obviously we have a lot of upscaling and a lot of new technologies coming out, but obviously, like, both processors and graphics cards now are starting to get pushed a bit. You know, like, I'm watching, like, you know, some of the higher end graphics cards actually get pushed by games. And at 4K, it's really hard to play right now.
Unless you
have, like, the top of the top.
You
know, like, you're spending $1,500 on a graphics card, and I think that with this next generation, we're going to see that notch down to maybe the $500 to $700 graphics card range. Which, you know, is still expensive. Like, I mean, I don't want to, like, discount people's dollars here, especially in today's economy. But, like, at the same time, we're seeing that happens, where instead of you saying, hey, I got to drop $1,500 on a graphics card and then $1,000 on a monitor, at least you're going to almost cut that in half with this new.
I mean, look, there are now PCs out there that, granted, they may not be able to, you know, perform 4K at, you know, 144 hertz or something. But for the all-inclusive price of anywhere from $1,500 to $2K, you can get a solid, amazing lifetime warranty pre-built that's able to play at 1440p at high resolutions for a massive map, for a VR. And that price point is, like, the ultimate sweet spot. I remember when that price point was $2,500 to $3,000 previously, and that was what was required. And so that price point coming down has allowed so many more people to get into gaming and get into the higher levels of gaming and being able to really experience, you know, I guess you could see the full fidelity experience. And that really, like, for me, it really maximized my amount of enjoyment, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, any new game I play, especially if it's something that's multiplayer or like an FPS game, I really want to make sure I have those high resolutions, but I also need to have those high frames. And so seeing that being available for more and more people as time goes on is really, really exciting, and we're going to have a lot more people come into gaming because of that. That's just what I think.
I would agree. And, like, I mean, right now we're starting to see, like, for a while there during COVID, like, you couldn't get a graphics card.
No, it was impossible.
You couldn't get a motherboard either.
It was impossible.
It was like, as a system integrator, you know, like, you know, we aggregate and we buy a bunch of parts and we hold on to them so that we can make sure that when you buy something that, you know, you get it at a timely manner, that you get good quality service. Something breaks, you're not waiting 2 months for it to be shipped back.
And you guys have that crazy warranty as well.
And we have the warranty. You know, like, obviously everybody goes, oh, how do you do lifetime warranty? That sounds impossible. But, you know, honestly, most modern hardware, after it makes it past 90 days, is pretty solid. You know, and in the event that something dies, you know, like, a lot of times we also offer upgrades and things like that. And after your machine is like 5 to 7 years old, and I offer you some trade-in credit and free shipping to get it back to you, a lot of people think about it, And if you can't, like it's a hard time in life, or something's not going your way well, then we can at least replace it for you, and then you can be back up in gaming again. And
so, interesting question for you. I see a lot of trend, like all the stuff that we've been seeing recently. I know that we've been talking about price points coming down, but we've also seen price points in other areas going up, and we've just seen a lot more like overbuilt, super beefy. Like all the new CPUs that are coming out this fall are insane.
Yeah.
Like the amount of like they're big. They're going to require a bigger cooler. They're going to require a super beefy GPU just to be able to have everything run properly. I mean, we've been seeing like not just the exterior of the shell, but the interior. A lot of points are being reinforced now. So what is your take? What is your opinion on that? Like, I mean, it's to the point now where my current system, like I think we have like 1,000-watt CPU in there. PSU in there.
PSU,
yeah, and it's huge.
Obviously, as we kind of get to this nexus of where you look at like performance, power, draw, and such like that, and like, obviously more performance, more power, and people have to understand that like when you're not using the PC, it's not like it's pulling 1,000 watts.
No.
All the time. People think, oh, I bought a 1,200 watt power supply. It's pulling 1,200 watts off my wall all the time. But that's not necessarily true.
It's up to.
Right? It's up to. So it's like, that's what it's able to pull if necessary. And obviously you want to try to keep that around 80% or less. So we're like looking at like how we do this, like how do we make it so that, when you have a power supply, like do you have enough limit to go up to? Not like, oh, you're going to have to worry about that. So with the new stuff, obviously if you look at like a current like 3090, right? It has that adapter, right, on like the Founders Edition cards, and that 16 pin is the new cable that's coming out. And I mean, obviously without getting too deep into it, there's going to have to be power supplies that have that natively. And we haven't really seen a lot of those. I mean, during COVID, manufacturing was really hard. Nobody had a lot of time. We're basically having a product that was going to be launched, but nobody wanted to build the other part of it. So they made adapters. And the adapters are not exactly pretty. Like they kind of mess with the color scheme because, we offer some really cool sleeve cables and lighting, and then you got this weird dongle adapter thing that like sits off the side of your card, and it's not matching with the rest of your PC.
Right.
That's obviously changing. There's a few power supplies that are on the market, but they're not like super well priced. And until like the world embraces these new power supplies, which we're going to start to see, we're going to get more efficiency. We're going to get, obviously those connectors are going to be able to deliver way more power. 400 to 600 watts, somewhere in that range, I think is what we're looking at. PCIe puts like 75 watts on it, and then each one of those 8 pins about the same. And so obviously with this new connector, we're going to be able to have more like meaty graphics cards. And like what do we, like you're looking at it and you're like, hey, I gotta look at like the whole picture, right? A lot of us, I mean, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Not saying that efficiency isn't important, but in your ranking of what you do, efficiency or performance, what are you looking for?
Performance.
Performance. And that's what we tend to see. And and I'm trying to like do what's best for the customer.
And oftentimes now, performance, they do bring efficiency into the equation.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a high-performing part, high-performing when it's all integrated.
Yeah, and like that way you can say, hey, I'm like looking at the actual like the full package and saying, hey, to make a comment really quick, like I think I have like a ton of Zydex people in chat right now. Like I was like going, dang, it's like half the staff is out there.
I see a few.
I know they're all in here. So much love to our Zydex brethren and everybody here who's tuning in with us. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, dang, I know like half of those people, and then no kidding. But anywho, I'm looking at like gaming performance with wattage draw. And yeah, it is definitely on the upward trend. And I know that's concerning in some ways too, because like obviously with more heat is more power is more heat. So we're having to look at designing things differently. Like how do we make things so that they still run cool, even though we're plopping in these 400 and plus, like graphics cards in here coming up, right? And like like when you start seeing like MSI, Asus, Gigabyte, everybody like that, when they start making new cards, right? Like like they're going to push the envelope. They always do, you know? You look at processors, like, you know, Intel's new stuff, which we can't talk about.
We got something right there that we can probably talk about.
We can, you know, like, obviously, like, you know, 12th gen, like, they're pushing the envelope with the 12900K. This sucker is amazing. It's fast. Its performance is amazing.
I really like the...
also, the box is really cool.
The product design, shout out to the product design team, because, I mean, that golden wafer, that looks really, really nice. I mean, that's something that you pick this up, you look at this in the store, it definitely grabs your attention. I mean, you know you're getting the highest quality product. That is.
And we do crazy stuff to them too. We also like delid them so you guys can even get even higher performance. We put on, you know, better TIM so that we can get really great contact and like really push the envelope on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We do like full water cooling, obviously from the pretty system in front of us.
Right.
But like that's not just what we do.
It's a work of art.
It's a work of art, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when you're buying water cooling, you're getting more performance, but the bottom line is that you're getting a work of art. You know, like the people who do water cooling for us, they love it. They strive. They start off in build crew, which is what we call our assembly line. One person builds your machine. That person gets your stuff, puts it together, builds it with love. At least I hope love. You know, and puts it together for you, and then goes and gets tested. Right? We go through a full testing automation process because, like, we want to make sure that everything goes right. We look at your scores. We look at your 8 to 64 extreme scores. We make sure that you're not just getting a computer. I'm not just like slapping it together and being like, here you go. You know, like there's a process that we go through to make sure that when you buy a pre-built, you know, because I'm not like, no disrespect to the people who want to DIY. I got here because I love building machines. Right. And I know you've built machines. Everybody here has built machines. But there's a point that you're just like, I just want something that works. I want the warranty. I want to make it happen. And so like, when we're designing those systems, we're like looking at how do we make sure that it works perfectly together. We work with manufacturers, and with this rise in heat, new coolers. Like, you know, like I think forever we had Asetek like coolers, like the same like wattage of thermal dissipation for like a decade. Right. Like I think it was like 10 years of the same thing.
Basically, it was a heater, like in your room. Your PC was
a good, but it was
a portable heater.
It was a portable. I mean, it's still a portable heater. You know, like if it's cold outside, you know, and you're in your room, you close the door. It works. No, in about half an hour. You know, it's fun because, like, you know, at Zydax, like everybody and their mom has like 3 monitors. Right. You know, everybody has monitors. So it's like you walk by and you're like, you have 3 monitors and you have 3 monitors. Yeah. And we have 12 AC units up on the roof. Right. And it's still hot, you know. So computers are definitely are very warm, I guess is the best way to put it. You know. Absolutely. I mean you live here. Yeah. So
I mean, even still, I mean, I have to have an AC unit and I have to have a fan for my camera. I mean, 2 PCs, 3 monitors, lights, everything, you know, multiple different cameras. Yeah, it does get warm. Yeah. But I mean, at least we know that, you know, over time, what we have is just absolute performance and stuff that, you know, I guess this fall, I can't wait to see all these games that are going to be really trying to push the envelope. As you were saying earlier with 4K, you're not going to be able to get a 4K capable system unless that thing is pushing out a lot of pure juice. Yep. And so I personally, like, yeah, I mean, does it get a little bit warm? Yes, but, you know, I'm going to be very, very happy for it because
open the door.
Yeah. Previously, it was like, oh, you know, you got to play a video game, and it was like playing through a movie. Yeah. And it was, you know, very cinematic. Yep. Right. And it was like, you know, it was very enjoyable. And now we're getting to the point where it's cinematic and more. It's like they're trying to make it even more immersive. Yeah. And so, you know, with all the new technologies they have, I know a lot of the talk right now, a lot of the buzzwords are stuff like, you know, how can we get, you know, these reflections, and how can we get these type of, you know, deeper blacks and all this stuff, and all these different colors. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, HDR. But for me, I'm more like, okay, that's all well and good, but I just want more frames. Yeah. And because you get that, all that, but then you have it at a high frame rate, it makes it so much more enjoyable. Yeah. And so, and I really am super excited for all the campaigns that are coming out, because that to me is like, it's a playable movie, but it's also going to be playable at an even higher frame rate. Yeah. So, and like, you know, that's the thing is like there are a couple of different kinds of people, you know, like somebody who's always searching for the best fidelity, the most beautiful graphics. They're willing to sacrifice frames. You know, they'll do 60 frames and be okay with it.
And then there's the other kind of people who are
yeah,
going to sacrifice how pretty it is
Yeah.
for 120 plus
Yep.
frames per second.
Yeah.
And like, but that's the other thing that's cool about PC is that
You're not going to have to sacrifice that in the future.
And
Yeah.
even if you did, you
Yeah.
have the choice.
Yep.
You know, it's in like in an environment. I mean, not that the consoles aren't great, but they are a very closed environment, and that also means they're kind of restricted. So when you have a PC, you know, and you're gaming, you can choose what's important to you, and that's one of the things that I always like try to explain to people. Like whenever they're like, "Oh, should I do this or should I do that? Should I go to gaming on PC or not?" What is the question there? The question really is, what do you want to do? What games do you want to play? What your friends are playing? But now with all this cross-play stuff going on,
Yeah.
like, you know, a whole world of games is open to you with PC gaming.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what makes it really interesting. And you have the choice of what's important to you and your budget, how much you want to spend, sky's the limit, or, you know, you're trying to be budget friendly.
Speaking of budget, like for example, the PC that you all built for me has a 12900KS in it.
Yep.
It's
It
out
is
of
the
all the
pinnacle.
CPUs out there, it's the most high end tier that is possible.
Yep.
But in that, I mean, it's phenomenal to play on. It's an absolute dream. But what we've also seen is even if you, like, let's say your budget is not that high, you don't need to go that high to get, I would say, about 90% of the performance. Like you
Yeah.
can be just fine with a 12700. With a 12700, you're getting the amount of performance that was like beyond the highest end level performance that was like a year or two ago.
I agree.
And it's mind-boggling because you don't even have to spend as much. And so
Yeah.
literally for a price point of anywhere from 1500 to around 2000,
Yep.
you can have 90% of like literally the highest level performance you could possibly get.
Yeah.
And for the vast majority of people, even that is just insane.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people out there, if price is a concern, if they're thinking about budgeting or if they're thinking about PC type stuff, you don't need to always go for the crazy high end stuff.
Yeah.
I have.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, like I've seen more and more people be super happy, super satisfied, and to the point where I've seen people compete.
Yeah.
I've seen people, try to go. Like I just played in a Fortnite 100K tourney.
Yeah.
For the very first time. I'm not really a Fortnite gamer, and I had to like practice for like a whole month just to even try to hope to.
What's it like to be like, hey, I'm just gonna like switch games and then go try to compete? Like, I mean, I'm like, hey, I got
humbling.
up this morning and I'm
was
selling
humbling.
PCs for the last decade. I haven't really changed very much, you know, as far as my day to day.
But let me tell you,
I'm gonna do everything differently.
I'm playing with, and I'm not gonna, I know everyone calls them, Fortnite kids. I'm not gonna try to go like there. But these gamers are literally playing on systems with, a lot of them have Intel, and they're playing, and it's not the latest and greatest stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're competitors. They're many years younger than me, and they're training me on something like that. And these are people who have won tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in tourneys.
Yeah.
And that, like, to me, like, being able to learn from them, that was super amazing. And then also, a lot of the stuff that, you have some transferable skill set, but, for them, they, we always, end up talking about, what do you have in your build? I would say, I have this. And they're like, wow, that's, but for them, they are having the nth degree level performance already with a, quote unquote mid-tier part.
I know.
So that being said, like, I mean, you really don't have to, if your budget isn't all out, I mean, I think there's definitely a PC build within everyone's price point, especially if they're interested in getting to that next level.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, like, you have customizability. You can choose what path you need to go down to. Some people, there's games that are more graphics card intensive.
Yep.
There's some games that are more CPU bound. A lot of like RTS and strategy games, you need to have the highest end processor you can afford. And there's other games that are more high fidelity, like you're looking at like a Call of Duty, where you probably need a really beefy graphics card.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's an ecosystem, and as long as you're like, you understand what you're doing. I mean, that's like, I guess, the beauty of like buying from somebody like Zydax here, is that you can talk to salespeople who are actually knowledgeable. They play video games. Whenever we look to hire somebody to work for Zydax, you need to play video games to be in sales.
Yep.
You need to like it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do every day.
That's what you guys live and breathe, and that's why working with you guys is super awesome. Because like I just remember, like as soon as I got the brand new build in, and I loaded up Tarkov, because I also play some Tarkov. I doubled my frame rate on one of the maps that has really poor optimization, and being able to hear from your guys' experience, like, well, we've tried literally everything.
Yep.
We've benchmarked literally everything to the nth degree for, thousands of systems.
Yep.
And so being able to, have you guys go, well, for this, that's probably what I would recommend.
Yeah.
And that was exactly how it went. And so that was, for me, that's personally super satisfying that, whatever I am looking for, I get exactly what I want, just because, you guys have been there, you've done that, and you've played the game for multiple hours.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is like we have our new website.
Yep.
If anybody's checked it out. One of the cool things that we're coming out here in the very near future that we can talk a little bit about,
Sure,
is our easy mode. And the easy mode is to help people who don't necessarily understand hardware or I maybe care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be honest, like,
Sure.
it's like I love driving my car, but I really couldn't tell you all the things that are in it,
Mm-hmm.
like, to make it go. So the idea of easy mode is to be, hey, I have some sliders, and I'm going to say I want to play this game at these settings on this resolution, and then the budget slider moves back and forth as you need it. So that way, like, if you want to play at 4K, it won't give you a $1,000 budget. Like, it's not going to work.
No.
But also at the same time, we're not going to be like, oh yeah, you want to play this? You need 256 gigs of RAM, unless you're a Chrome warrior,
Right.
like me. Like Chrome just eats everything.
Yeah.
So, but you could also close some tabs, and I don't do that.
No.
I'll realize
Never
if I hit the
close your
up
tabs.
button and then there's like a whole row of them. I'm like, oh, well, that's a problem. But that's the other thing is that a gaming PC doesn't just mean gaming. It's like I'll have like parents come on and they'll be like, oh, my
I create, I edit, I broadcast, I do literally everything. It goes beyond, if you're talking to parents, it goes much beyond homework. You can run scientific software on these machines, and oftentimes these machines are going to run it better than a lot of the schools out there.
And it's amusing because like a gaming PC is just a high-end performance desktop. That's what it is, or laptop. You know. And it does so many things. And like, it's always a quintessential. My kid says I need a 12900K and a 3090.
Oh my God!
For my system. All right, maybe not that much, but you know what I mean.
Oh, that's an amazing film.
But that will really do Google Sheets really well. I can tell you that.
I think that'd do it the best, actually.
It can do it really well. But the thing is it also is for gaming. I can remember, as a kid, like, when I was looking at Zydax and, joining on to start this thing, a lot of it like was like, what do I want to see? Like, obviously, like we're obviously like, you're doing something you could do yourself. You can change your oil, right? But making a Zydax PC or any custom gaming PC, you're definitely looking at it as an element of like, hey, this is a custom setup that you pre-purchase from us that are set up, ready to go. It is like it is your thing, right? Like, this is what you want, and that we do the testing, we make sure it works, we do all the stuff that you would otherwise do, except it's delivered to your house. And if you have any problems, we take care of it. So it's like remembering that as a kid, I couldn't afford, some of the higher end systems during the time. I just couldn't do it. So then I look now and I say, how can we be as competitive as possible? We look at our pricing every day to make sure that, we're close to being able to do it yourself. We're close. Like, obviously, like, in the PC world, margins are tight, things are small, and we're trying to do everything we can to deliver that next level performance experience for a budget. So it's always interesting because there's like so much going on, and
something I've actually and talking about like trends for I guess towards the end of the year. I know we've talked about like the highest end of stuff, but I've seen a lot of movement on especially on the international front where mobile games are now getting developed for PC emulators.
Like BlueStacks and stuff like that.
And it's not like it's small too. Like I remember that. Right now PUBG Mobile is so much larger than PUBG, and PUBG Mobile. And I would argue, and I don't have the figures to back this up, but just in my personal opinion, I would argue that PUBG Mobile on an emulator is pretty close to, if not bigger than, PUBG on PC.
Interesting.
And so, and we've seen that not just with mobile games, getting developed, even COD Mobile.
Yeah.
I played COD Mobile a few years back, and they offered the emulator on day one.
Interesting.
And so the other thing that, so a lot of people out there that, maybe they can't afford something as, crazy, going all the way to infinity type of build like this.
Yeah.
But, something that, right, but something that gets to, that gets them, their foot in the door in PC gaming in that sense. Technically, that's still PC gaming. I would, even
you're still running an emulator on a PC,
Yeah.
And if that's what, sometimes it's like, as I said, like oftentimes, like I want to sit down on a desk, and like experience that right then and there, like have that moment to sit down, clear my mind, and play games right then and there. I think it's funny because I'm seeing people in chat say I use that excuse too on my parents to get a gaming PC.
Right.
I think at least everybody here has, if you were a child during the gaming wave.
Absolutely.
I remember being like, "Hey, Mom, I want to go to Micro Center."
Well, it's that. Like even right now, like Fortnite, you can play Fortnite on. You don't have to have a crazy supercomputer.
Yeah,
to play Fortnite.
you can do. Yeah,
you don't need
do
to
an
have a
expensive
supercomputer.
machine.
League of Legends. You don't need to have that. Like
all
development,
incredible games.
The phenomenal, enjoyed by people all over the world, millions of people, and I'm super excited to see more and more games like that are more and more inclusive. That have maybe crossplay isn't necessarily PC and console in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe crossplay is. Where people are thinking, not necessarily mobile first, but mobile as well. And they're kind of thinking about it in tandem, and that's something for me I think is going to be an even bigger breakthrough because everyone has this. Not everyone has this.
Yep.
But everyone's got a phone, and so if you have something that you can enjoy on your phone when you're not at your actual
your
setup,
desktop,
you're able to either engage with or interact with or even play in. But when when it counts,
when you want the cinematic experience,
and then you have your battle station.
Yep.
Because these are. Oh, I almost dropped it.
He almost threw his phone.
I know, right? These are getting to the point now where these are amazing. So that's. I think for the future. That's where I'm personally. We're
going to see a lot more
invested.
We're going to see integrations cross-platform.
Yeah,
and like
cross-platform to me, this is the future of cross-platform. Not like your Xbox or PlayStation. Look, I'm not saying that's not good or anything. I have those, of course. I have those at home. I'm just seeing a lot more people.
I don't know. I have a lot of people that have a console that I get to play with on my PC that I'm pretty stoked about. But I can definitely.
But I'm talking about all my homies around the world.
I know.
A lot of the homies around the world, bro. It's either this or a laptop or this. That's it. There's no such thing as get an Xbox or get a PlayStation.
It's always interesting because like a lot of us, like we deal mostly in the Americas. Obviously we send things all over the world, specifically like the super high-end water cooling because it's an art piece. You're going for like that level of performance and that level of creatism. Then there we go. Let's see. Let's talk about UE5 for a minute and like why I'm excited. We've got
for those in the audience who don't know, UE5 is
Unreal. It's Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal Engine 5,
and like a lot of the games are still coming out on Unreal Engine 3 and 4. But next year we're going to start seeing.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a new engine. It's tons of new features.
This is what we call as a breakthrough moment. Like, I remember seeing clips of. I think it was like a clip of a person walking through like a train station.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh, by the way, this isn't real life.
Yeah, this is not real life. Here, watch us change to dark.
Yeah, this is a video game engine in its beta, in its test period.
I know, and it's incredible. And like the technology that's coming into that is making things more and more real, but also more and more efficient. Because like if you look at movies, they spend countless hours rendering and making the images perfect, right? Well, at least trying to. Some don't look so good, but not naming any names.
It's true.
But all of this stuff is becoming more easily accessible to the average programmer, the average dev studio. Like, you think about like if we rewind years ago, like every studio had to develop their own platform to design a game on. Now you can just get into it, and so it's gonna. Obviously, we can see the proliferation of multiple games, indie studios, all these cool things because we're allowed to have people access the technology for less money, less overhead, less programming, less specialization, and focus on creating a high-quality game that anybody can enjoy. And so with the advent of UE5, we're going to start to see games get pushed harder. As I said, we're going to start seeing people really want to see like, you know, the next step.
People are really going to want to get a PC for anything developed on UE5 anyway.
Yeah,
so I just remember, you know, seeing like, this is, again, 4 or 5 years ago, I saw what the PC games were then, and I knew that the only way to be able to do that was to, you know, play on a PC. I had to go out, I had to go budget, I had to go research. It had been forever since I've been in PC gaming. And so I had to, you know, I had to do all that, and I can't wait to have that same feeling again, like, oh goodness, like this is going to be the next level type stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that a lot, as I had mentioned before, PCs get pushed forward by new innovative games.
Yep.
Like that's what drives it. You know, Elden Ring came out, we saw people be really interested, right?
Yeah.
The new Call of Duty will come out.
Well, some of the games, I mean, they push them to a little bit too far. Too.
Yeah, sometimes.
I heard a lot of stuff where things.
That was fun.
Some very extreme cases caught fire.
Yeah, that was fun.
So, I mean, sometimes it can get to that point, but that's what is required for progress.
Yeah, we got to push.
In very extreme cases.
Yeah.
We're getting the queue now that we're going to have to wrap up soon.
Yeah,
so, if Chad, if you guys have anything...
you guys have any questions
anyone in the audience,
we
I appreciate you guys for, you know, sticking around and listening to us talk. Again, super exciting stuff coming out. The fall... New Intel stuff coming out as well.
Yeah,
can't really talk about it,
but coming out. Oh man, it's going to be incredible.
All I say is that it's out there if you look. So
yeah, it's going to be some incredible stuff. As we said, like we're going to really, it's going to be a really amazing next 3 to 6 months of all PC gaming. You know,
I have some questions about your
thoughts on VR.
Yeah, thoughts on VR. Yeah.
So, I am a nerd. I used to fence, like pokey.
Yep. Actual fencing.
Stuff. Yeah. So like
on guard.
Originally, I couldn't do VR because it would make me sick.
Oh really?
Right? Because it just wasn't fast enough. But I put on a modern VR headset. That's like, you know, we're starting to push towards like 4K and both like that's crazy. Like it feels so real.
Yep.
And I think that as technology pushes it forward and it becomes more and more close to reality, where you don't have, you know, like it feels real. And we have games that are specifically designed for it, because that's the other thing is you can't just take a game and be like, boop, it's VR. I mean, you kind of can, but it's not great. You know, that's where Half-Life Alyx comes in. Like, that game was designed for it, so it feels right, you know? It feels right. And like that's like the biggest thing when you play a game, does it feel right? The difference between a game that's fun and a game that's incredible oftentimes is how you feel. And I know that's like an existential like, but like that's where it's at. And so I look at VR and I say, this is still relevant. Like, it's not like the 3D, remember 3D monitors?
Yep.
Woo, that was not fun.
I mean, it came and then it went.
But VR is a future technology that is here today, that is being perfected every day. Not that it's not great right now, but I am so excited to see where we're going with that, because it's basically putting a monitor, boop, and then immersing you. And we'll see. And as I said, like right now, we need more games specifically designed for VR. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Got any other good questions on there?
Yeah, a question about do PCs usually come with a monitor, and or which type of monitors that you would recommend?
We don't generally say they come with it, because a lot of times people have very specific preferences. And one other thing about being a custom SI is that you get to choose.
Yeah.
And so I would say they don't always come with a monitor. We have some great monitors from MSI on our website. I think we also bring in some ASUS ones on occasion.
Yeah.
You know, whatever makes the most sense. And
so basically,
budget friendly.
It's going to be much better for the average customer to purchase the monitor that they want for the type of games that they're going to play.
Exactly. And on our website, you have a huge choice. But we also know that there may be some other things. I have TVs.
Yeah.
I literally game on an LG like CX. Yeah. It's great. It's huge.
Yeah. Those. I mean, that's the best of the best.
Yeah. It looks ridiculous. Like there's me and a wall, but you know that's what I want. And that's the cool thing is that I'm not competitive anymore. So
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
All right. So I've seen, and this is super hyper niche.
Yep.
This is like, what do you think about portable PCs? I say PC like in like one of those like hard
like that?
Plastic.
Super
cases.
cool.
Yeah, just like this. Yeah, something like that. Like, is that something that you guys would ever explore? Because
we are going to explore it. But as I said, like with the new power stuff coming out, we're gonna wait and see.
Right.
I am excited for it. But you know, there's still laptops, and laptops are incredible now. You know, the new Intel ones that we have. Oh my gosh, They're amazing, they're fast, they're fairly affordable, and they perform nearly as well as a desktop. But I guess on that end, once again, thank you.
Thank you for
you're
having
amazing.
me.
And
Thank you to Intel for having us. Yeah, absolutely.
Please check out the Zydax.com Intel giveaway.
Yep.
Free PC.
Free PC, guys.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.